The Rangers won one and lost one in Florida today. They beat St. Louis on the field 8-1. Richard Ray tells us about the loss.
American League owners filed into the closed-door meeting amid reports that Eddie Childs was threatening to take the Rangers off the market if a bid from Edward Gaylord was again rejected. Major League officials have spent the last 2 weeks putting together an alternative to Gaylord, an ownership group headed up by George W. Bush, a Dallas resident and son of the president. But Childs was now telling reporters that if Gaylord was turned down again, he'd simply keep the team. Does that mean, he was asked, that the Bush group is out of the picture?
I don't even know that they ever were in the running.
Major League Commissioner Peter UEBERROTH was said to be stunned by Childs' ultimatum, but publicly at least was saying little.
Regarding the Texas, no, I just, you know, our disciplines are still the same, but I mean, I'm sure it's going to be worked on by the American League owners and everybody else, but I don't have anything to say yet.
Some of the owners fear that through his ownership of Channel 11 in Dallas, Gaylord could turn the Rangers into another superstation team, like the Atlanta Braves and the Chicago Cubs. The concern being that too many games on cable hurt local attendance around the league. That seemed to be the deciding factor again.
The verdict is no.
Where does that leave the Texas Rangers?
Where they were when I left home.
You have no intentions of selling to the Bush group?
I didn't say that. I just said, I don't know. I can't answer those questions at this stage. I can't think until I get a chance to be off to myself.
The next move may be up to Ed Gaylord. The question is, does he continue to exercise his right of first refusal? And there's been speculation, at least, that a lawsuit may be in the offing. Richard Ray, Channel 4 News, Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Thanks, Rich. Tom Landry Day has been moved again. This time, the mayor plans the big celebration for Saturday, April the 22nd. This third move was made, apparently, so that school kids could take part. Some school kids are taking part down in Austin this weekend in the 4A semifinal high school basketball game tonight. Highland Park in the white uniforms had to win 2 overtime games in tournament play to get this far, and they play another hard attacker tonight. Against Port Arthur's Lincoln High School, the Highlanders, who come in with a 31-3 record, take a 1-point lead at halftime. The game goes back and forth, but Lincoln gets 2 free throws from Brandon Tyler with 4 seconds left, and that's the difference, as Port Arthur Lincoln right there edges Highland Park 57-55. The honors continue to pile up for the state champion Duncanville Pantherettes. At noon today, the Duncanville Chamber of Commerce honored the girls who have won 60 consecutive games, including a perfect 39 straight this season. Only 5 of those 39 victims came within 20 points. Obviously, this is a very special group of athletes for 32-year coaching veteran Sandra Meadows.
Well, I think there's a lot of talent there for one thing, but I think the closeness of the team is probably the thing that carried us when we had difficulties. They're very much like a family together.
Now, how are you going to get an encore to this? How are you going to keep this going?
Well, of course, I hadn't even gotten out of the Irwin Center down there before people were starting to talk about the third consecutive championship. I think that'll be a very difficult thing to do, but with the young people like we have in Duncanville, anything's possible.
The state champion Duncanville Pantherettes, currently ranked number 3 in the country and moving up, pick up the trophy right here as the KDFW TV High School Basketball Team of the Week. We're talking winners here, folks. I mean winners. There were just 2 winners in the NBA tonight. Let's take a look at the scoreboard and see San Antonio, surprise winner over New Jersey. Philadelphia knocks off Sacramento. The Southwest Conference basketball tournament starts at noon tomorrow, but not before Travis Mays, the 6'2" junior guard from Texas, picks up this trophy as the Conference Player of the Year. Mays, who was planning on leaving Austin until Tom Penders was named the new Longhorns coach, led the league in scoring with a 22.1 average.
It's a great honor to be named Southwest Conference Player of the Year. I think I would have to thank the players that were around me all year long, and I think they really played a big part in helping me achieve that award, along with Coach Penders bringing into Texas his up-tempo style offense, which I think I'm better in.
He certainly is. Finally tonight, the Sidekicks went to bankruptcy court today. Paul Crane has that report.
The new court for the Mavericks is Judge Robert McGuire's bankruptcy court, where Dallas Basketball Limited is trying to get at least a payment schedule for the more than $500,000 still owed Donald Carter from his sale of the Sidekicks to the current ownership.
They've not made a payment of $1 of principal, and yet they're saying to the court, although we haven't paid $1 of principal, We've had this team for 3 years, and we won a national championship with it. We don't think we'll be able to pay the Mavericks anything.
We reduced the principal by $41,000, and we paid $70,000 or $80,000 in interest.
The reduction from $560,000 to $519,000 has been made by the Mavericks.
Didn't we do a lot better job of running the team than Dallas Mavericks did? They lost $5 million in 2 years, and we lost a little bit over $3 million in 3 years.
While lawyers from both sides shuttled from the judges' chambers to conference rooms, testimony finally began from MISL Commissioner Bill Kentling, who basically characterized the Sidekicks as a good soccer team but poorly run business. And by the looks of the action in the conference rooms, it could be a team headed for new ownership.
I think there's a future for soccer in Dallas and in the country. I think we may be a few years ahead of our time, but I think it's there, and I think it will grow. And second reason is I think I can do it better than the guy before me.
The other group interested in purchasing the Sidekicks is represented here today by real estate developer Tom Stone, who's not interested in purchasing the team himself, simply looking into it for a group of others who are. And if nothing is worked out in the next week, the Mavericks and Sidekicks will be back here in court again next Thursday. Paul Crane, Channel 4 Sports.
Thanks, Paul. That's sports. You have yourself a good evening. We'll see you back here tomorrow.